Hello learners, today we shall discuss the role of trade fairs in tourism marketing. After watching this video, you shall be able to understand the historical evolution of trade fairs, analyze the difference between various categories of fairs, evaluate the different functions of trade fair, and learn about the various principles in organizing trade fairs. Before we move ahead in terms of understanding the role and importance of trade fairs, let me share with you the history and evolution of trade fairs. The fairs have been evolving in line with the rhythm of the development of trade and have acted as a driving engine for economic and commercial activity. The origin of trade fairs took place in European market in the Middle Ages along with the long-distance trade. Their goods for daily use were marketed, and this led to time-bound meeting of dealers in certain places. The first region where these medieval markets took place was the Champagne region of France. In Germany, trade fair began to appear in churches as a religious celebration. National and regional exhibitions were established in the first half of 19th century in many European countries. From the year 1851, world exhibitions emerged as a reflection of the technical, economic and cultural development of the period. Later on, the Industrial Revolution brought about a new era of fairs which came closer to the concept of modern trade fair. The factors were mostly two: the increased production need to expand the market, and the industry was able to be met by the trade fair, and this led to a major turning point in the history of trade fairs. It seems that trade fairs have always been changing in response to the challenges in market patterns, economic growth and international relations. They also played a very important role in the economic expansion of goods and services. The 1960s witnessed a trade fair boom as many trade associations were formed and expanded their role. It became standard for each industry to have association and annual trade fairs, which helped show cause and execute strategies. With the introduction of marketing concept in business, trade fairs were extensively and increasingly used as a prominent part of marketing strategy. Today, they are a key element of the communication strategies. The new media and technology have contributed to increase their efficiency and outreach. Organizers are anyhow challenged to make these events increasingly attractive and appealing, and to compete in terms of marketing strategies and distinctive features. Today, hotels, restaurants, transport systems, shopkeepers, cleaners, tour guides and many other people have a significant role to play in trade fairs. Local shopkeepers especially get an opportunity to appeal to the business tourists as they are interested in various leisure activities also. It is of importance to notice that trade fair bring different business and trade under the same umbrella, where everyone works in harmony to get a successful result. The travel packages as offered by the best tour operator agencies focus on the balance of business activities and leisure activities. So now we have understood that trade fairs have evolved over a period of time, and they are an important component in the communication strategy of any organization. Now let me take you to the categories of fairs. Many names are used to indicate events whose main purpose is to bring buyers and sellers together and promote trade. For example, the term trade fair, trade exhibition and trade show are often used to indicate the same type of event. They can be multi-sector or they can be focused on a single sector. Now I'll discuss with you the various categories of fairs. The first and the foremost is a specialized trade fair. A specialized trade fair normally occurs at regular intervals in the same place. Even in certain cases, the event may move from one location to another, but is generally organized under same sponsorship. It is sometimes also called industry fair to distinguish it from the consumer fair. While the admission to the former is restricted to professionals of the sector, the consumer fairs are open to general public. In relation to the targeted audience and participation, the fair can be international, regional, national, and even local. Then the next category is commercial exhibitions. Commercial exhibitions generally indicate the event organized by and for a representative number of companies and is attended by a specific target group of clients. It doesn't take place occasionally, but whenever it is organized, the focus is with specific marketing and business objectives of the organization. Private exhibitions. I hope you must have attended some of the private exhibitions. A private exhibition is a display of products and services of one supplier targeted to selected clientele. For example, if I wish to launch a new product or position a supplier in the new market area, then private exhibitions play an important role. The next category is buyer's fair. This is similar to commercial exhibition. This is an event organized to promote business and facilitate contact between suppliers pertaining to homogeneous range of products. For example, processed food. And we have invited buyers in the form of distributors and departmental store chains. So it's a B2B business fair. Then we also read about Travel Mart. Travel Mart indicate a sizable and fixed commercial fair where we focus to promote and sell products and develop customer relationship management on a continuous basis. We have conference fairs also. This type of fair consists of small trade shows where we display specific range of products, and we have certain events in the form of conferences and seminars. So now we have learned in this video that trade fairs have evolved over a very long period of time. They were part of the Industrial Revolution activity, and we have various categories of trade fairs. After understanding the different categories of trade fairs, let us understand what are the functions of trade fair. These functions are further divided at various levels, and they are part of the marketing instruments of any organizations. Exhibitors and visitors can achieve the objectives of sales and marketing through trade fairs. They serve as a base for development and cultivation of customer relationship, in case of presentation of new product, technology and services, and also help to get the positioning of the entire company. Let us now discuss the role of customer care and customer acquisition. What is customer acquisition? It implies identification of the processes and procedures to localize, qualify and ensure the business of a new customer. Companies and organizations consider the cost of customer acquisition as an important measure in assessing how much value customer will bring back to their business. In the economy, the development of long-term customer relationship is also now replaced by individual transactions and individual relationship management. Such association can be effectively achieved through trade fairs, where the customers visit the fair and have a brand loyalty towards the various products offered by the organization. A direct customer contact is possible through trade fairs because they offer an excellent communication platform. With this platform, at the national and international level, contact opportunities are possible, which leads to sales benefit for the exhibiting companies, and as a result of it, additional markets are open. Now let me give you an example of India International Trade Fair. This trade fair started in the year 1980 and has evolved as a major event for the business community. It's a premier event organized by Indian Trade Promotional Council, IPTO, the nodal trade promotion agency of the Government of India. The Indian Trade Promotion Organization conducts this event between 14th to 27th November in Delhi. This event is a major tourist attraction and lakhs of people visit the fair everywhere. This annual event provides a common platform for the manufacturers, traders, exporters and importers. The fair display comprises a wide range of products and services including automobiles, textiles, household appliances, kitchen appliances, food products, beverages, pharmaceuticals, cosmetic and healthcare products. Telecommunication, power sector, electronic sector, home furnishing and engineering goods are also part of this fair. So we have understood that in the case of customer acquisition, trade fairs play a prominent role. The second point is they are the platform for the foundation of new business. Trade fairs present a lot of opportunities for newly founded enterprises. They are an ideal place for the public presentation of products and enterprises, and we can contact the potential customers, distributors and service partners. They help in the presentation of new products and services. For example, ITPO organizes Ajivika Mela with the support of the Ministry of Rural Development. It's a livelihood fair which is generally held during the month of February and March in line with the Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, which is related with National Rural Livelihood Mission. ITPU takes this initiative of organizing Ajivika to make its contribution in providing marketing support to rural and small-scale craftspersons, entrepreneurs and manufacturers for multiple products which are manufactured and produced by them. The third important function of a trade fair is image improvement and media effect. A company, regardless of their sector, needs to sell its good idea and present it to its customers and also target the potential consumers. The elaboration of the advertising accompanied by adequate media strategy is essential to fulfill the objectives of any trade fair with reference to previously defined target audience. So we need to promote the attention and attendance in our trade fair. Audiovisual elements such as projectors, videos, as well as various advertisements and movies, they follow a brand strategy and is used in the trade fair to generate interest among the visitors. Trade fair events have a high media impact and it is used by most of the destination marketing organizations and destination management companies. In the last few decades, these travel organizations have generated long-term economic benefit and facilitated the development of the destinations by marketing various trade fairs. Now let's discuss the example of Singapore. For example, in Singapore, over 800 conventions generally take place in every year. So it represents around 8.5% of the top international events on this planet. So as a result, the cities are positioned, the countries are benefited, and we are able to generate a good economic growth with hosting of trade fairs. The next important function is benchmarking. Benchmarking is a technique which consists of taking reference of key qualities of other companies and adapting them by an organization for improvements. The close proximity to the companies to each other on the trade fair create a unique competitive situation. That is why benchmarking is a principal instrument between competitors during a trade fair. I'll give you another example. The Gem and Jewellery Export Promotion Council was set up by Ministry of Commerce, Government of India in 1966. It's one of the several export promotion councils launched by Government of India to boost the country's export trade and also to look into international market. And since 1998, the council has been organizing on an yearly basis India International Jewellery Fair. This fair displays a wide range of hand-cut rubies, precious and semi-precious stones from India, silver jewelry, antique jewelry, natural stones, and lots of handmade jewelry. So, such fairs not only promote business but also help the buyers and sellers to meet at a common place. The next important function of trade fair is employee motivation. We know that employee motivation is an indispensable part of the business operation. To achieve a committed team and an appropriate atmosphere, it is necessary to move away from the routine working environment and to focus on incentives. So, on this basis, trade fairs they present a opportunity to help the employees to interact with the customers, which facilitates them in a high degree of motivation and achievement of their objectives. They are able to meet the customers in a highly competitive environment and are able to understand the changing needs of the company, and the exhibitors can make modifications in their trade fair activities. Another important function of trade fair is personal communication. The trade fair markets are full of commercial transactions. They are a place to exchange interest, opinion, as well as to build confidence and sustainability between business partners. The Auto Expo is organized every year in India, and the role of this trade fair is technology transfer, how Indian automobile industry is absorbing new technology and promoting indigenous research and development. This 9-day show is considered to be one of the world's premier auto show. It's a signature event where a lot of valuable people, top leaders of the automobile world, they come together, and there are a lot of product launch, technology initiatives, and understanding of the business trends. The next function of a trade fair is emotional branding. In today's consumer society, marketing and advertising communication is supplemented by trade fairs. Trade fairs' success is basically based on the efforts to establish an emotional connection between the product and the consumer. Let me give you another example. Interior Lifestyle India is an international exhibition and expo for dining, living, and lifestyle. It's always organized at Bombay Exhibition Center, Mumbai. It's a one-stop destination to connect with the wholesalers, hoteliers, and the related segments. This event provides a unique opportunity for hotel management companies and the small business to develop customer relationship management. So these were some of the functions which were related at the micro level. But when we look at the government level or at the national level, the trade fair also performs various functions, such as they have a multiplying effect on the economy of the city. They promote urban and regional development through infrastructure development, and also they also facilitate the growth of MICE and travel tourism at the destination. Now let me discuss with you the economic aspect of the trade fair. Trade fairs have a positive economic impact on the city, region, and country in which they take place. Various reports indicate that the overall production and employment effects and the tax revenues are high on the destinations where trade fairs are organized. They play an important role in the employment at the regional and national level. The Electrical and Electronic Exhibition Fair is organized by the Indian Electrical and Electronic Manufacturing Association, which is an apex industry association for electronic equipments. And since 1948, this organization is operating, and they have more than 800 member organizations who are part of the value chain related to power generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical equipments. So such trade fairs, where we have a huge number of membership and a lot of newly launched products are promoted, it helps in the economic growth of the destination and the country as a whole. Creation of market transparency is another function of trade fair. A market can be defined as transparent if all the participants have maximum information about the various market conditions and they can take the decisions in an appropriate way. This information must be clear and truthful and should be accessible by those who are involved in the market operations. The efficiency of a market will depend upon the facilities to obtain such information and cost. And trade fairs present a perfect scenario for market transparency because as a consumer, we have an opportunity to observe the product range of a sector, make comparisons between the products, and communicate and also solve our doubts and queries related to after sales service. Supply and demand come together during trade fairs, so they help us in stimulating the market and coordinating the interest of the industry and trade. Now, I'll give you an interesting example of AHAR, which is an international food and hospitality fair organized in Delhi. Fair is organized by Indian Trade Promotion Council. AHAR is one of the Asia's best known brands in food and hospitality show. The show has grown in leaps and bounds in recent years, and today Delhi is visited by global vendors and sourcing professionals, and a lot of hotel management entrepreneurs and budding graduates are part of the AHAR fair. After understanding the micro and macro functions of trade fair, let us move to the social function of trade fair. Trade fairs help in transfer of knowledge. They function as a transmission mechanism of knowledge where the best information can be exchanged. Today, we all know that knowledge is considered as a driver of productivity and economic growth, which leads to new focus on the role of information and learning in today's economic world. We generally call this economy as a knowledge-based economy, and a lot of companies come together and present their product range, and necessary information can be obtained by the trade fair organizers who function as brokers of knowledge. The Delhi Book Fair is organized with the Federation of Indian Publishers. The number of seminars, workshops, children program, book release functions are organized during this trade fair, and many students from schools and colleges are permitted free entry to the fair. So as a result of it, there is a keen interest in reading and understanding the new literature that is coming up in the market among the students. Trade fair also helps to develop contact between business and government. Trade fairs increase the interest of the political institutions for a specific sector of industry and offer a communication platform where exhibitors, business partners, venue owners, media people, and politicians can hold the meeting and discuss the financial, economic, and social policy issues. Textiles, apparel, and clothing trade shows are an ideal opportunity for the designers and manufacturers to showcase their innovation and create a buzz about themselves. Every year in India, around 5,000 plus apparel trade shows and clothing trade fairs take place, and in different parts of the world, more than in 50 countries of the world, we have wedding exhibitions and we have lifestyle exhibitions. These garment shows and clothing trade fairs help the manufacturers to look forward to this event and also to increase their brand recall value and the prospects of success in the market. Trade fair also increase international understanding. International understanding is the ability to observe critically and objectively and appraise the human conduct as well as to promote cross-cultural exchange. Trade fairs offer the possibility of exchange of international relations, and it has a positive influence on various nations. The function of a marketplace helps in promoting international understanding as well as exchange. ITP India organizes every year a 3-day business-to-business trade convention show to connect you to the Indian travel market. ITP India bring together key travel industry leaders and international exhibitors from various segments of leisure, corporate, travel and technology. It's one of the fastest growing trade fairs in India and South Asian market, and they look forward to partnership among different stakeholders in tourism business. After understanding the trade fair, let me now share with you the principles in organizing the trade fair. First and foremost is we need to manage the event. A trade fair requires a technical expertise which may be wholly or partly outsourced to an authority and the service providers. The organizers should be in a position to negotiate the terms of references with the service providers and coordinate and supervise the inputs and activities. Many activities are part of the organizer's role, and they need to have sufficient budget and manpower for the project. The organizers should also understand the capacities related and the role of professionals in managing the trade fair. The second important part is mobilizing resources. Organizing a trade fair implies a substantial investment. Whether it's a local fair or an international fair, we need to finance the venture, and we need to also take subsidies and technical cooperation among agencies for setting up of our stalls. As a participant in the trade fair, you need to mobilize local partnership for the event. The organization and implementation of the trade fair element can be taken care at the local level by the private and public entities, transport providers, conference service providers. The coordination and management of integrated set of elements should be ensured by the organizers. Local entrepreneurs and other sectoral stakeholders represent a major part of the participants, and in the developing countries, it is essential that we involve the local business community in our trade fair activities. There are risks associated with trade fair. We need to do our risk assessment and mitigate the problems associated. The potential areas should be identified. We need to identify the problem areas related to organization, visitor footfall, operations and manpower management. These risks can be related with the local area or at the national level. And in the end, the sustainability of the trade fair is very, very important. A trade fair generates revenue in terms of its rental and services, and for an organization, it is essential that we maintain the efficiency and effectiveness during the trade fair. The organizations should plan their funding sponsors. They should also take into consideration the local support system as well as the various events to be organized during this trade fair. So now we have understood that we have to analyze the strengths and weaknesses whenever we wish to opt for a trade fair, and we need to do an initial assessment of the feasibility of the project. It is also important for us to also look forward to convenient accommodation structure, the type of hotels and the transport facilities near the trade fair venue. After understanding the functions and the important steps in organizing the trade fair, we need to look at the aspects related to tourism promotion. So, trade fairs are just one of the components of the larger sectoral promotion strategy of a company. It is one of the activities, but it's a continuous process. We need to do the right things. We need to understand and learn the lessons from the past, take corrective measures so that progressive growth and improvement of trade fair takes place. And we are also required to organize various events. These events should be related in a logical manner and be based on the resources available and the management capacities. We need to partner with various institutions and come up with the projects which can be sponsored, and the organizations should be very clear in terms of the proper integration of trade fairs. There are various activities which are considered during the trade fair. We have buyer-seller meets, we have conferences, we have technical seminars, lectures, fashion shows, folklore shows. And different international delegates also visit our trade fair. So if we want excellent participation from our target audience, we need to plan these events in such a way that they have a distinctive theme from the competitors and they focus on our business objectives. Now, in the end, I would like to conclude that in India, we enjoy an excellent internet connectivity. We have an efficient system of road, rail, and domestic air travel. Today, we have dominant international commercial hubs and business parks in cities like Gurugram, Pune, Hyderabad, Jaipur, and we are hosting number of global trade fairs and entertainment events. There are various international airports which have good customs and migration facility. Today we are connected with every international destination and we have number of airlines operators. India also enjoy a favorable position in world tourism due to its natural resources and cultural resources. Several hotspots in metro cities enjoy leisure infrastructure like modern shopping centers and shopping malls, sports facilities, as well as entertainment facilities. So, in terms of hosting trade fairs, we need to develop strategic relationship. We need to build credibility with the corporate travel management companies to successfully penetrate the Indian fair market. As far as tourism is concerned, tourism comprises of so many stakeholders. We have an opportunity to organize exhibitions related to handicraft, textiles, as well as number of trade shows can be organized to promote the destination. So I hope in this lesson you have understood that trade fair is one of the important component of a firm's marketing communication strategy and we need to work and fulfill the various objectives for which trade fairs are organized. Thank you.